Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing a challenge in Forza Horizon 5 because, well, it's been a while since we've done a Forza video, and I have a bit of a decent idea for today's video. Now this has probably been done by tons of other Forza creators, but today we're going to be turning the slowest car into the fastest drag car in the game. Now of course, this is going to have a certain parameter when it comes to also selecting this car. One, it has to be one of the slowest cars in the game, and two, we have to test out before and after with this car. So unfortunately, we're going to have two different types of drag races. So let's go straight to the auto show and see what's the slowest car, which I think it could be this Barf. Now the best way we can actually check this out is actually just filtering it straight to performance class, and it looks like yes, the Barf is one of the options. Now, majority of these cars are cars that I already own, except for the Barf. So I think we will have to go for the Barf 595 ECC, which is a weird name. I'm pretty sure I butchers that. But this is going to be the car we're going to be selecting. Now we're just going to go for a standard color. Because I just want to make sure this car is decent looking. So I think a decent gray. That looks sick. And it's only 35,000 credits, so we can definitely buy it. Now yet again, this is going to be interesting because obviously I don't know how quick this car is going to be, and the acceleration is probably going to suck pretty much. But I mean, it's a challenge to see if we can actually make this car a lot faster or for the drag race. I mean, it kind of looks sick. It's decent. It's very decent. So without further ado, let's actually take this out for a drag race, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the slowest drag races we've ever done. Okay, so first of all, first thoughts. This thing is slow. This is extremely slow. I mean, it's decent in a way, but wow, this is a shock. So to actually do this drag race, we have to just quickly go here. And it's just going to be the standard drag race that is found at the main Horizon stage, which is going to be the festival drag strip. And I'm going to try and make sure this is actually going to give us a good test in terms of difficulty. Now, of course, we're not going to select any of these good cars, which I would actually rather choose these cars. But this is unfortunately the car we're using for this video. It's going to suck. It's going to suck, but it's going to be interesting. Okay, so for difficulty, we're just going to make sure it's actually going to be a decent experience. So let's actually go for maybe highly skilled. I think that's a decent way to do it. Highly skilled makes sense because then we'll have a bit of a challenge. It means we can actually work the car to a decent range when we customize it. So let's see how this car does from launch, acceleration, and speed. And okay, well, that is terrible. Not as bad as those cars. So it does have a bit of a catch later on. Of course, this is going against other slower cars, but this is extremely slow. We're going to also look at the time. I think if we can be a decent time, it would make sense. But this is the slowest drag race I've ever done. In fact, this is still going. We just got past 60%. Is this car's max speed really 110? Maybe a little bit more. That is extremely slow. So let's see what the time we did there. We did 41 seconds basically. I think if we can at least almost do it half, that would be a decent upgrade for this car. But 41 seconds is quite slow for this type of car. And it's just slow in general. So now what we gotta do is try to see if we can make this car not any faster, but can beat the time by at least half. So we have to get at least 20.5 seconds, I would say, to make this as a successful translation, a successful upgrade to this car, because, well, we want to make sure this car is done right. Okay, so it's time to upgrade this car. And I will say, we probably have to do an engine conversion first. So let's maybe engine swap this to something that might have a decent performance to it. Now we have some decent options. We got, I believe, let's say just two options, which is going to be either an inline 4 motorbike engine or an i4 Turbo Rally, which I think might be the better option here. So we got that option. Do we have a drivetrain swap? It can be a good advantage. So let's go for the all-wheel drive instead of the, I believe it was a rear-wheel drive. Was it? I don't know. We'll just leave it there. And now let's go to the engine. We've got the camshaft, which will be upgraded because it does increase our performance. This will not do too much with the displacements, but it can help us with more horsepower, which I think is decent to go for. Now for the turbo, we have some options here. That is maybe too much. They basically all add up to 200 horsepower, which is not bad. But I think for this, race makes more sense. I think race definitely makes more sense. Now looking at this can be very interesting to choose from. Now for brakes, we will maybe upgrade to the race brakes because that will be best to use. Spring, we might go for a bit of a lower rider for this. I think, yeah, ride height to minus 205 centimeters would be a decent option to go for. Now I'm not too sure if we should add a roll cage to this car. It does add more weight. We might just leave the roll cage for now, because we don't want this car to be too heavy in any way. We obviously want to make sure we can beat the time, which is obviously 41, by at least half. So I think we're going to have to make sure our car is lighter. So the weight reduction for the body would be a good option to go for. We are going to be upgrading the transmission because, of course, we currently only have a certain amount of gears and we need to make sure this upgrade does decently well. Now we could go for 4-speed, which is always a good option, which can always be a good option when it comes to drag races. It does eventually limit the car, which does not help us at all. So we might go for something like a 10-speed for this, or we could even go for a 7-speed. I think 7-speed might be a decent option for this car. But tires, this is where we could have a good advantage. Now we are going to go for slicks, which does give us not only a ton of grip, but basically jumps our car from B to straight to S2, which is insane to see. Now width, we could actually do pretty much with both front and rear, because obviously we got all-wheel drive, which does help us quite a bit. And let's see, this actually kind of helps it. We can make it wide as we can. I think rear should be also good to go a bit wider. Now aero and appearance could be actually kind of interesting. Now we got the Forza edition, which I mean does add some decent looks. This actually kind of looks very clean. It removes quite a bit. It actually removes a lot of detail for this car. Let's go for the front bumper to be removed. It actually looks a lot better without the bumper. I don't know, it looks like when you shave, like if someone had a mustache and they had to shave for the first time, it looks something like that. That's the best way I can really say it. Now, do we want to add a rear wing? We could. It just adds a tiny little wing, and it does actually help our performance a little bit. Not actually, wait. It does help with braking, does help with our off-roading, and it does help with handling. So I think that will actually be kind of useful. But of course, this car is meant to be used for basically drag racing. Now rear bumper, I wonder if we can just remove it. We can straight up remove it. Let's just do it. And that's all the upgrades we're going to be doing. And this is going to bring the price tag to 92,950 credits. Which, remind you, this car was 35,000 credits. So we basically spent 3 times the price for this car with the upgrades. But I mean, it's for the video. We have to do it. Now when we go out, I'm going to drive very slowly, so we can actually get a raw reaction when we actually do the drag race. So I'm going to ease the throttle a little bit so I can really feel the performance a little bit. So we'll just go very slowly so we don't, we don't spoil it in any way. So we'll keep it at 50 because obviously that was basically kind of the fastest it can actually go in this length. So let's redo this drag race. This is going to be interesting. I think we could definitely get close to our mark. If we can at least do it in 20 seconds, well 20.5 seconds, which is going to be exactly half of the best time we did, which was 41. That is going to be a successful upgrade for this car to be basically a drag car. Let's see. We might lose some control at the beginning. I'll definitely say that. Whoa! Okay, that is just funny to watch. Just some wheelies. This car's already maxed at 250. We are losing speed. I think the 7 gear was maybe a better option. We are going to lose this drag race. But it's not about winning, it's about at least improve this car. 16 seconds, 16.6 seconds, that's actually a big improvement. So that actually beats our mark. Now yes, we should have actually gone for maybe 10 gears, I think. That would have actually helped us if we wanted to go for a win. But that's still a decent upgrade. But that start was kind of funny to watch. So conversion does a lot, but I can see definitely with the transmission, it is not the best right now. We could have actually done a bit more with the transmission, but I mean, it managed to do a decent time. And looks like we are locked at 250. Otherwise, I think that's a very successful upgrade to this car. And let me know in the comments below. Do you want me to do more of these videos where we basically turn some cars into what they're not supposed to be? Because honestly, this is more of a city car. But let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next one. Be safe as always and have a great day. Bye.